Hello and welcome to Let's Play Yandere-Chan. At least I think that's what it's pronounced as. I originally recorded this with fraps, but the audio in this game, man, it overpowered me, and you could barely hear my voice, and like the sound effects for some reason is just like kind of buzzing now. Oh, it was horrible. So I'm using Camtasia because it's a pain in the ass, having to re-change the whole, what was it? Like, resize the recording area and all that, but whatever. So, as you can see to the left here, Yandere. Yeah, that's kind of obvious. If you don't know what that is, basically Yandere could translate to, in my opinion, to crazy ass bitch, because Yandere characters are kind of crazy. They're either crazily obsessed with someone to the point where they will kill anyone that even looks at them and just like, hey, I kind of like you, just like, you must die now. They're completely batshit insane. And then there are other times where they're just like overly attached to a person to the point where they just like don't know the meaning of personal space. And sometimes, in this case, you'll see what I mean when we get to it. But this is not for the faint at hearts, because this is some messed up shit, somewhat. Not as messed up as some Yandere type characters I've seen, like Higurashi characters. When they go into Yandere mode, it's just like shit gets real fucking crazy. And there's school days, everyone that knows about anime properly, other than, the typical kind of Naruto and all that kind of stuff, would probably have heard of school days and know that it's fucking insane. And I hate talking about it because just bringing it back is just like, oh god. Oh, I don't want to even think about that damn horrible freaking anime. And then there's, I remember reading Mirai Nikki or something like that. Dream Diary, the manga version anyway. And they had a Yandere character now, and she was crazy as hell as well. And, speaking of that one, I know I'm getting off track here, but I really fucking hated the protagonist of that one. He was such a selfish little prick. He's almost on par with Makoto from School Days in, like, my dislike of him. Seriously, I tried watching the anime adaptation, and I couldn't get past the first episode. I was like, I just want to punch this guy in the face, the little prick. It's like just one part in the manga where he just turns up, like, looking all badass, just like, hey, I'm gonna win this diary game thingamajig and be awesome and all that. It's like, you're not awesome, you got a Yandere chick doing all the work, you bastard. Then there's also Elfen Lied, also has kind of Yandere kind of thing to it. Also very messed up. I've watched both the anime and the manga. I think I read the manga first. It's pretty messed up, but yeah. I don't really particularly like Yandere characters all that much. I mean, I'm like alright with the Higurashi characters, because while they do have the Yandere side and all that, for the most part, when they're not like that, they're pretty likable. But then there's like some other Yandere characters just like Yandere mode all the time. It never stops. I hate that. Besides, I'll be honest, Yandere girls kind of fucking creep me out. Well, anyways, let's start. Class, we have a new student joining us today. I want you all to make him feel welcome. You can come in now. I opened the door. A hushed silence fell over the classroom as I nervously approached the teacher's podium, and I wrote my name on the chalkboard. Echo will be the main character.
Hey, you don't want to be stuck in a game about a Yandere chick. Why me?
Because, Echo, don't you want to be in the spotlight for once?
Yeah, but not in this.
Too bad.
Yeah, just deal with it. I'm referred to as a chalkboard here, but you get the idea. Deal with it, Echo.
You sons of bitches, you set me up. I'm Echo, it's very nice to meet you all.
Welcome to our class, Echo. Please take a seat over there.
Yes, sir.
I could feel the eyes of every student upon me as I made my way to the empty desk. And thus began my first day at a new school. I wonder if I should just voice him all the time with the Echo the Dolphin voice. The morning session went by really fast. Before I knew it, it was lunchtime. Seriously, these sound effects are overpowering. The upside to recording with Camtasia though is it tends to give us separate kind of files. So I could turn down the volume on this while editing and increase the volume on my commentary. So just in case I want to change something here. Options. I don't know what this is all about because I don't hear any voice acting in this. Let's turn down the sound a little. Music down there. Yeah, that should do the trick. Before I knew it, it was lunchtime. Hey Echo, come sit with us. A girl called me over to her desk. 3 other students, an old girl and 2 boys were merging their desks with hers. I guess they do this every day. I pulled my chair over and they made some room for me to sit. As we ate, they asked me questions about where I moved from and what my hobbies were. One of the girls assured me that if I ever needed any help getting around the campus that I could ask her for help. They were all nice people and it wasn't long before we started joking around and having fun. And then I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. Ah yeah, I can hear it. It's like a faint kind of screechy, horrible sound effect going on there. And it's really amplified when I played it back. It was ridiculous. That girl sitting by herself at the back of the classroom. Not eating, not studying, just staring. Straight at me. With unwavering eyes. From what I could recall, I don't think she stopped staring at me since I arrived. I know I was a new guy and all, but still it was a bit unnerving. Even as I tried to shift my attention back to the conversation, I could still feel her vacant gaze piercing into the back of my head. As I turned around to get a better look at her, she got up and walked out of the classroom. That was weird. Who was that girl? And why was she staring at me so intently? Did she know me from somewhere? Pretty cute, isn't she? Huh? I turned back around and saw that the others are grinning at me. That girl you were looking at, I said she's cute.
Yeah, I guess.
It's true she was from little of her that I saw anyway, but that's not why I was trying to get a look at her. Her name's Maya. We introduced you to her, but she's not really the socializing type. All the students said whilst nudging me in the arm.
What do you mean by that?
She's a recluse. Whenever anyone tries to talk to her, she'll either walk away or just ignore them. Hell, I don't think I've ever even heard her speak, let alone socialize. I have, but only in a very short sentence, and even then she sounded like a robot. She tends to avoid human contact wherever possible.
Is it because she's shy or not very good at talking to people?
It's possible. She was in the same class as me last year, and even then she behaved in exactly the same way. And that includes not eating at lunchtime. Most days she'll retreat to the library and stay there until it's time to go back to class. Too bad. If she wasn't so weird enough, I'd totally ask her out. The hell you would! I'm already going to be the one to ask her out. Ha! Like you even stand a chance with her. Hey, shut up! God, you're both hopeless. She may be weird, but she'd have to be completely insane to want to go out with either of you. Well, judging by, the title screen, she is. But not, in that kind of way. It's yeah. I know, right? Absolutely no chance. Oh, come on, girls, don't be like that. Now go help me out here.
Leave me out of this.
We carried on like this until the afternoon bell rang. All in all, it was a pretty fun time. I guess you could see this as since Higarashi's clearly not going to be the next visual novel LP, this one partly might make up for it with it's got a yandere character. It's pretty messed up, and that's the main focus of it. And I don't really feel... I'll be honest, I put this on the list. I was okay, short visual novels before the main one. I was just okay, we'll do it first, then Moonlight Walks, and then Yandere-Chan. I didn't really think much of it at the time, but now that we're actually getting around to it, I'm just I don't know, man. These Yandere chicks to creep me out. After class ended, I was invited to come hang out with my new friends. However, I was instructed to meet with the principal after school in order to fill out the remainder of my application forms, so I had to reluctantly decline their offer. By the time I'd finished filling out my forms, everyone had already gone home. I left the principal's office and walked down the empty hallway.
Echo.
As I reached the second floor, a soft voice called out my name. Oh, I wasn't expecting anybody else to be here, especially not her. But there she was, standing right in front of me. The reclusive girl who was staring at me all throughout class. Although at this point in time she seemed far less reclusive than before.
I'm really glad that you transferred to our school. When I saw you wearing our uniform this morning, I thought I might have just been dreaming, but here you are. Finally, we get to be in the same class together. I'm so happy. It's almost scary.
Yeah. Talk about scary. In a matter of seconds, this girl had gone from being a functional mute to a happy puppy. And she was talking like we had met before. I figured I would remember meeting someone as cute as her, but I was drawing a complete blank. More importantly, what was she doing here all alone at this time of the evening? It's possible that she stayed behind to catch up on some studying. But that still didn't explain why she was just standing in the halls like that. It couldn't be that she was waiting for me, was she? I remembered back to my conversation with the other students this afternoon. They did say that she was a bit of a weirdo, although it could just be that she had me confused with someone else.
Could it be that you have forgotten my name, Echo?
No, of course not. Damn, I responded spontaneously. Although that wasn't actually a lie. I don't think I'd ever seen this girl before, much less knew her name. Ah, so cute! It's no matter. No wonder the guys were fighting over her. I didn't want to say anything that would upset her. But was it really so important for her that I knew her name? Well, I'd already put my foot in my mouth by implying that I hadn't forgotten it. I had no choice but to follow through with an answer. Now think, Echo. I remember that one of the guys told me her name during lunch. But for the life of me, I couldn't fully remember what it was. I think it was something. But I wasn't quite sure. I just had to take a wild guess and hope for the best. Besides, even if I did get it wrong, I could just apologize and ask for the right answer. I was sure there was... she would understand. Okay, here we go. Her name is... Well, it's obviously this one, but... let's get a first look at, you know, Yandere mode here, by getting the wrong name. Miku. Judging from the awkward silence, it was clear that I had gotten it wrong. I suddenly felt like a real jerk for getting her hopes up. She seemed like such a nice girl, too. I'd better hurry up and apologize to her. I'd hate to ruin the chance for us to become friends by getting off on the wrong foot.
What the...
Before I knew what had happened, I was lying on the floor in a pool of my own blood. Well, that sure escalated. I tried to move, but I was completely immobilized, partly due to the immense pain in my chest, and partly due to the weight of the alien sitting on top of me.
You're horrible, Echo.
That soft-spoken girl who looked like she wouldn't harm a fly was suddenly sitting on top of me with a pair of blood-soaked scissors grasped firmly in her hands. With my consciousness fading, it took me a moment to fully comprehend what had happened. Apparently she had reached into her school bag, pulled out a pair of scissors, and stabbed me once in the chest. Then, when I collapsed on the floor, she climbed on top of me and continued the assault. You know, Yandere girls are crazy and all, but this one seems more so than other ones that I've seen. Because just like, oh, so you got your name wrong, so you're just like, die, you son of a bitch! But why? It didn't make any sense. Indeed, Yandere chicks never make any sense. One moment I was trying to remember her name, and the next moment You've got to be kidding!
How could you forget? How could you? It's too cruel, Echo. Cruel! Cruel! Cruel!
Pant, pant, pant. After what seemed like an eternity, the girl finally stopped her assault. Panting heavily, she continued to stare at me with doll-like eyes.
Too bad. And I was looking forward to walking home with you, Echo.
Speaking in a vacant tone, she slowly rose to her feet and dropped the bloody scissors by my side. And then she turned around and walked away. You know, one thing I don't get about Yandere-Chan is, like, sometimes they pull this kind of shit and nobody does a damn thing about it. It's like, what the fuck? Shouldn't they surely have been caught or something? I was laughing, not because I was going mad in my final moments, but because in the end I managed to learn her name. My vision was fading, but because I was right beside me, I could just narrowly make it out. That's the handle of the scissors was a label. It read, "Property of me. Bad end." You didn't get the name though, because you died at the second, whatever. Okay, let's do this properly now. Mia. Judging from the awkward silence, it was clear that I had gotten it wrong.
Echo!
Ah! Before I knew what had happened, she had leapt into my arms and was burying her face in my chest. Well, at least it's not the scissors this time, right, Echo?
Damn it! Why do you set me up for this shit? I don't want to have to be no stupid goddamn character in this game. I knew you would never forget me. You would never do something so mean. This is wonderful. It's finally happening. This isn't a dream. I can feel you. Your body's so warm. You're actually here. I'm so happy. I'm so happy, Echo.
What was up with this girl? One utterance of her name and she was all over me. Not that I was complaining or anything. It's not every day that a cute girl throws herself at me like this. Though I did feel bad that the only reason it happened was because another student just happened to tell me her name. It's not like I remembered it because of any previous encounter with her. So really, when you think about it, if they hadn't mentioned her name, he'd be screwed. I would have told her the truth, but she was just so happy that I didn't want to upset her. Dude, if you tell her the truth, you're screwed. So I just had to live with the fact that I lied to some girl I'd never met before.
Together, and we can eat lunch together, and we can study together, and...
I was so deep in my own thoughts that I hadn't noticed that she was still talking to me. Not only that, but her grip on my body had tightened. It's like she was worried that if she let me go, I was going to vanish into thin air or something. It was a good thing that there was nobody around at that time. If anybody saw a girl hanging off me, the gossip would have spread like wildfire. Especially since the girl in question was the quiet recluse that all the guys were gunning for. Just to be safe, I decided to do something about it. I grabbed a hold of Mia's shoulders and pulled her off of me.
Huh? Why? Why did you pull away, Echo? Why would you do such a thing?
God, she's like a baby who just had her favorite toy taken away from them.
It made me feel like a real jerk. Although I wasn't really at fault. This was a normal reaction to being hugged by a stranger. Although to her, she probably thought it was acceptable because we allegedly knew each other. Now, my response to if I was hugged by some random stranger would be like a look of like, what the fuck is going on? But I needed to tell her that it wasn't polite to jump into people like that. Well, if you met Ayu, you'd pretty much have to say that on a regular basis. Even if that make me look like an ass. Come on now, take it easy.
I mean, come on, take it easy. It's great that you're happy and all, but it's not nice to go around running into people.
As I was talking, I took a step back. And then I felt my foot kick something on the floor. I looked down and noticed that the entire area around us was littered with school supplies. And that's not all. They were all labeled property of Mia. Maya, whatever. I wasn't sure what to make of that. I never met anyone who was in the habit of labeling all of their possessions. Well, I think the only... I've never known anyone personally to do that, but if we count, like, fictional characters, Double D from Ed, Edd and Eddy did that, didn't he? Though, for all I knew, she was a klutz who would frequently lose her things and started putting labels on them so that they could be returned to her if found. Or maybe she had a compulsive habit of sticking labels onto everything she owned. So that's what Double D pretty much had, isn't it? Yes. Although, what's the case with her? Though if that were the case, she would also have labels on her desk and all over her uniform. I'm pretty sure I would have noticed if she did that. Unless they were on the inside of her clothes. Interesting theory, but once again I was getting off track. Somebody there was stuff on the floor that wasn't there earlier. My best guess was that when Maya jumped into my arms, she dropped her school bag and spilled all of her things onto the floor. As if there was any other possible reason. Still, it was funny how it took me this long to notice.
Seriously, you should pay more attention to what you're doing, or somebody might get hurt.
Mainly you, Echo.
Why you put me on the spot here? Why do I have to be the character?
I lectured her as I knelt down to pick up her bag.
Echo is mad at me.
Maya looked away with a dejected expression on her face. Her adorableness was making it very difficult for me to keep a serious face.
I'm not mad, I'm just not a big fan of stepping on somebody else's things and breaking them.
You know, just like, can't keep a serious face with her being all that cute. Can't keep serious anything when using the Echo the Dolphin voice. Speak of the devil. As I was packing the tools back into her bag, I shifted my weight onto my left knee and accidentally crushed the calculator that had fallen underneath. Needless to say, it was also labeled property of Maya. Also needless to say, my knee was freaking hurting right now, and there was a tear in my pants. Guess that's what I get for buying them at a discount clothing store. I picked up the calculator and examined it closely. The screen had been completely shattered. I could see small drops of my blood on the inside circuitry. It had been rendered completely useless.
Just lovely.
I looked up at Maya, who stared back at me with a look of complete shock on her face. I contemplated scolding her again about the importance of self-awareness. I calmly stood back up and handed her her bag while holding the broken calculator in my other hand.
Sorry about that. I'll buy you another one later, I promise. Mia? Echo. No!
Huh?
Whoa!
And once again she tackled me, only this time I was knocked to the ground.
What was that about?
I stood up to find Mia frantically pulling back my left pant leg and examining my knee.
Mia, what the hell are you? Echo's knee! Echo's knee! Echo's knee! It's injured! Echo's knee is injured! Does it hurt, Echo? Does it? Are you alright? Are you in pain? There's blood! There's dirt! It's heading into the wound! It's going to get affected! Echo is going to get sick! Stay right there! Don't move! Let me help you! I'll help you, Echo!
It was unbelievable. You know, is the voice way I'm voicing her fitting for her character or not? Just like... This girl was falling to pieces over a tiny cut. A cut that she was partially responsible for causing. At that point, my back was hurting considerably more than my knee. No doubt a result of being tackled to the floor. Also her fault, I might add. But I wasn't about to bring that up. This kid was already treating the situation like a code blue emergency. If I told her that I had sustained a null injury, she'd probably have a heart attack. It was strange, but in another way it was kind of cute. Yes, there comes a time in every man's life when he hopes he meets a girl who would make a big fuss over him, but even in their wildest dreams, I doubt any of the girls behaved quite as recklessly as this. I had to put a stop to this before she went too far and ended up calling an ambulance and causing more typos.
Hey, Mia, look, yeah.
I trailed off in my own thoughts again, so I wasn't paying attention to what she was trying to do. I snapped out of it just as Mia's tongue was mere inches away from my knee. Grab!
Huh? Whoa there, no need for that.
Phew, that was too close. Mia looked at me with startled eyes.
But if I don't clean the wound, germs are going to get in and Echo will get sick.
Yeah, and if I let you lick my cut, you'll get sick. Was she for real? She was willing and ready to lick my wound clean like some kind of animal. And given the way things had progressed by that point, I doubt she would have minded it one bit. I knew that if I let this go on any longer, somebody was going to get hurt. Mainly you. I quickly rolled up my pant leg and got back on my feet.
But, Echo... Look, I'm fine, see? Nothing a band-aid won't fix. Speaking of which, I'd better dispose of this before anyone else gets hurt. Huh?
I walked into a nearby classroom and disposed of the broken calculator in the trash. Mia stared vacantly at me as I walked out of the classroom.
Now come on, you'll get dirty if you stay down there.
I held out my hand to help her up. As I moved towards her, her line of sight didn't change. She seemed to be lost in her own little world. I moved in closer and gently nudged her on the shoulder.
Maya? Huh?
Maya jolted like she had just been woken up from a deep sleep. She blinked a few times and then noticed me standing in front of her. I held my hand out again to help her up. She just stared at it. After a moment of silence, she finally took my hand and I pulled her up off the floor. That was strange. It was like she had suddenly switched off. What was that about? I saw her brush the dust off her clothes. Guess she didn't mind because she didn't show any signs of resistance. The average girl would probably get nervous if a boy started touching them. Well, if some random boy did that, he'd probably get kicked in the balls. At least that's what I've been told. But then again, it was becoming abundantly clear that I wasn't dealing with the average girl. Heck, from what I've witnessed in the short amount of time we spent together, I think it was safe to assume that the concept of personal space didn't register with her. Unless, of course, it involves avoiding contact with the rest of the student body. Guess that meant I was special. Which is not necessarily a good thing in this situation now, is it? I didn't know whether that was good or bad. It's bad, Echo, it's bad. This is a Yandere chick we're dealing with.
You're trailing off again, Echo. You really need to stop doing that.
I slapped myself on the cheek. Ow. And finished brushing the dust off of Maya's clothes. All the while she remained as quiet as a mouse, and her expression had reverted back to the same vacant one she had throughout the day. It was making it very difficult to tell what she was thinking. Strange. One minute she was bubbly and vibrant. The next she was a mannequin. But it has been a long day, particularly within the last few minutes. Maybe she was just tired. I know I was. Another way, I couldn't shake this uncomfortable feeling I was getting from all of the silence.
It's getting late. We should get going. I don't know about you, but my mom will kick my ass if I'm not home before dark.
I tried to elevate the strange sense of awkwardness I was feeling by making a joke. A truthful joke, mind you. I knew full well that what awaited me when I got home tonight was a fistful of whoop-ass from my beloved's mother. What? This sound like, kind of like, did they do a typo and then correct it right after, instead of like, you know, just like backspace, backspace, backspace. No, actually, you wouldn't even need to do that. Just like, move, 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 beep, and that'd be it. Also, maybe capital, I don't know. Yes. And judging from the complete lack of response, I could tell that Maya wasn't even listening to me.
Eh? Maya? Huh? You still with me?
After Maya.
Oh, Echo. Yes, the very same.
Where did you go?
Ah.
Guess I wasn't the only one with a penchant for getting lost in my own thoughts. In that case, I was able to cut her some slack.
Well, never mind. The important thing is you're back now. And just in time, too. We should get going before it gets too dark. I'll meet you outside. Did you forget something back at class? No. Toilet. Oh, okay then. I'll just, wait for you outside.
I stiffly turned around and hurried towards the stairs. I guess that's why Maya was being so quiet. She needed to use the toilet but was unable to speak up because I was too busy putting my hands all over her. Not in that way, mind you. That must have been embarrassing for her. I, for one, was feeling pretty sheepish. If I could see my face in a mirror, I'd bet my face was bright red at that point.
Smooth, Echo, just smooth. Making a girl stand around listening to you while she needs to use the ladies' room.
I continued to condemn myself as I made my way outside. See, Echo, this is why you're just still, like, not really got, like, a proper love interest anymore in The Sims 2.
Hey, I try my best, damn it.
After a few minutes, Maya came out, and the two of us made our way to the train station. Ah, goddamn train station. This is the place where shit gets real at some point. A lot of time had passed since school got out, so it went without saying that I had missed my train. Ordinarily, I would have boarded a much earlier train to get home, but due to my meeting with the principal today, I knew that I would end up missing it. So I checked the train schedule before I arrived at school this morning to see when the next one would arrive. I was yawning and hoping to finish filling out my forms and make it to the station in time to catch it. However, due to my unforeseen encounter with Mia, I ended up missing that train as well. I went over the timetable again to see if any old trains were heading my way. Next train wasn't due for another 20 minutes. I figured I should at least call my mum and tell her I was going to be late. Probably would have done that sooner, but with everything that happened, the thought completely slipped my mind.
Okay, Mum. Yeah, see you soon. Bye. Huh. I foresee an ass whooping in my near future. Almost makes me wish the train wouldn't come.
I snarked to myself as I walked over to Mia, who was sitting on a nearby bench. It appeared as though Mia had regained her cheerful attitude in that kind of what the hell kind of laugh is that? Why do I give her that laugh? She was clutching her school bag and rocking from side to side. I never knew anyone who felt that good after going to the toilet. Well, you know, if it's like parting with like something very, 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 very much a pain in the ass, quite literally. And then you just like that feeling of relief. You're just like, oh, thank God, it's over. God damn. She must have had a really big bowel. And I stopped myself right there. Then it occurred to me, everything that happened, I would have missed her normal train as well. She hadn't been to look at the schedule, though she didn't seem at all anxious. For all I know, her usual train hadn't even arrived yet. Maybe this was a normal routine for her. What the hell? Or maybe she was just so lost in her own little world that she didn't even know where she was. Just as well, it was with her. I was with her at that point. Maya was sitting by herself, completely unaware of her surroundings, and some perv sat down next to her. Well, I didn't want to think about that. Well, you know, we've already seen what she's like in Yandere mode. If a perv tried anything on her, he would immediately regret it, to say the least. I'd had more than enough interest thoughts for one afternoon anyway. Ground control to Major Mia. I tapped Mia lightly on the shoulder.
Eh?
And much like back at school, she awoke from her daydream with a small jump.
Oh, Echo.
That's the one and only. Same exact response, too. I was starting to wonder if this girl was really an introverted as everyone else said she was. Perhaps she was just spacey. For example, when the other students tried to talk to her at school, it could be that her head was in the clouds and she simply didn't notice them. That could easily be misconstrued by being reclusive, and that would also account for her other reputation of being weird. It could be that during the course of our brief encounter, I, the new kid, managed to solve the mystery of the quiet loner girl. Decided that I would report my findings to the other students at school the next day. And by the time you'd probably do that, you'd be like, okay, I found a secret to her. That Mia chick. Just like, yeah, what? So what's up with her? Bitches be crazy, man. Yeah, it was possible that I would also be able to help Mia make some friends. But before I could do any of that, I had to make sure that she made it home in one piece.
I just checked the timetable. My train will be here in about 20 minutes. Have you checked to see when your train arrives yet? Shall I take that as a no? Go and check, please.
Nod. Mia placed her bag on the seat and went to go look at the timetable.
Okay, that was just weird.
It felt like I was a parent interrogating their child about doing their homework or something. I asked Mia in a soft yet assertive voice if she had done what she was supposed to do. She hesitated. I asked her in the same tone of voice to do as she's told, with a typo. And after more hesitating, she gave in and did it. Basically, is this how my parents felt when they had to discipline me? Looks like I owe them an apology. I watched Mia examining the timetables. Because of her height, she had to stand on her toes to see it properly. It was funny to watch, not to mention pretty cute.
I should probably stop being a jerk and go over there and actually help her. Maybe an extra set of eyes will help her find her train quicker.
I got up and walked over to her. You know, because they're like basically just gave the protagonist the name Echo and he's like voicing him in my Echo the Dolphin voice. Now just picture now that this student is actually a dolphin in a uniform. Picture it. And it's somehow able to walk. Then I remembered her school bag was seated next to me. I turned back and saw that it had fallen off the seat and some things had fallen out. No, actually putting it that way, that makes this whole thing even weirder. Again, apparently this girl was not in the habit of closing her bag properly. Went down and started putting the items back into the bag. Yeah? And then something caught my eye. Is that a tampon? No. Amongst the spilled contents was the calculator I accidentally broken and then disposed of. What on earth is this doing back in Maya's bag? She didn't. Like at school when she said she needed to use the toilet. Could it be that when she finished she snuck back into the classroom and took the calculator out of the trash? It's also possible that she never even needed to use the toilet to begin with. Perhaps she simply made up an excuse so that it would leave and she could sneak in and take it. Come to think of it, each time she started getting all quiet. Was that when I disposed of the calculator? When I was brushing the dirt off of her, the direction she was staring in was the classroom where I disposed of it. And the time that she started behaving happily again was after she came back from the toilet. Of course! It all makes sense now. For some unknown reason, Mia really wanted her calculator back, regardless of its condition. All the pieces were falling into place. Sort of. But why would she hide it from me? More importantly, why would she lie to me in order to retrieve it? Why didn't she just ask me to give it back to her instead of letting me toss it away? Was it really that precious to her? It just looked like an ordinary calculator to me, and for all I knew, it was a gift from a loved one that she cherished with all her heart. I guess I really didn't have any right to just throw it away without asking her first. Decided to put it back and pretend I didn't see anything. Given the circumstances, it was the least I could do. What the? As I went to put the calculator back in the bag, I felt something slimy on my fingers. I looked at my hand and saw that it was covered in a clear liquid. It was saliva. Yeah, nasty. When did that happen? Did I get spit on it at some point? What the hell is with some people? As I recoiled in disgust, I dropped the calculator back onto the ground. I leaned in to pick it up, and then I noticed something. Okay, that's bizarre. The calculator also had saliva on it. Not on every inch of it, mind you. It looked more like it had originated from the broken screen and then ran down when the calculator was tilted upwards. But even so, there was a lot of it. It was as if someone had been making out with it, like one of those really steamy movies that my mum doesn't know I watch. Oh, Echo, you watch that stuff, do you? Hey, don't judge me. The real question was it Mia's saliva? Or did it get onto the calculator because of something else that was also in the trash that just happened to have saliva on it? A lot of kids threw their food wrappers and stuff into the trash at lunch today. Some kids were pretty keen on licking up every last crumb or whatever from their packs before they threw them away. It became from one of those. It wasn't above the realm of possibility, but wait. I couldn't remember whether or not the trash bag had been replaced before I disposed of the calculator.
Echo.
Whoa!